At around 10:30 p.m. on June 3, 1999, Bobby Bornt was asleep on the couch at his house in Perry, Oklahoma, when his front door was kicked in. Clayton Lockett, Shawn Mathis and Alfonzo Lockett entered his house and immediately started beating and kicking him. Lockett was carrying a shotgun which he used to hit Bornt. After the beating, duct tape was used to secure his hands behind his back and they gagged him and left him on the couch while they ransacked the house looking for drugs.
As Bornt lay restrained, his friend, Summer Hare, approached the open door. She was pulled inside, hit in the face and thrown against a wall. One of the men put a gun to her head and ordered her to call to her friend, Stephanie Neiman, who was outside sitting in her pickup. When Neiman came inside, they hit her several times to get the keys to her pickup. They were bound with duct tape and put in the bedroom where Bornt's 9-month-old son, Sam, had been sleeping.
Stephanie, Summer, and Bobby were then taken to a remote, rural place in Kay County where the assailants had planned on scaring them into silence. However, things did not go according to plan as Stephanie stood up to Clayton and his accomplices. She refused to hand them her car keys or turn off the alarm to her truck. She even refused to listen to their warnings and made it look like she would talk to the police if set free.
Clayton Lockett instructed Mathis to dig a grave and said, "Someone has got to go." Neiman was taken to the hole dug by Mathis. When she refused to promise that she would not go to the police, Clayton Lockett shot her. The gun jammed, but he fixed it, returned and shot her again. While Mathis buried Neiman, Bornt and Hare were warned that if they told anyone they would be killed too. They then drove both pickups and dropped off Bornt, his son and Hare at Bornt's house and they left in Bornt's pickup. The following day, Bornt and Hare told the Perry police what had happened. Neiman's pickup and her body were recovered and all 3 men were subsequently arrested. Clayton Lockett ultimately confessed to police. Let's listen to his full confession.
If you decide to make a statement, you may stop at any time. Do you understand each of these rights I've explained to you?
Yes.
And having these rights in mind, do you still wish to go on with this interview?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Mr. Lockett, we're going to cover the incidents that occurred on the night of the 4th of June. And I want you to start from when you left Enid and where you went from there and who you were with. So go ahead and tell me how that got started.
When I left Enid, I was with Shawn Mathis and Alfonzo Lockett. My cousin and best friend, we was in Shawn's car coming to Perry, and we were coming to Perry with the intention to take all of Bobby Bornt's furniture, not furniture, appliance, TV, radio, VCR, etc., etc. And when we got down here, we drove by his house, we drove down the alley, seen his garage door open. So we figured he was in the garage. We didn't want to approach him in the garage, so we circled around the house, came back again, and the garage door was shut. So we parked the car down the alley, walked up to the door and knocked on it. No one answered. So we left. We circled around the block probably 2 or 3 times, and then Shawn dropped us off at the entrance of the alley, and he parked his car across the street at our house, and then he walked up and met us. At that time we walked up to Bobby's house and knocked on the door. Didn't no one answer, so we listened. Still didn't no one answer. And we kicked the door in, went inside his house. He was laying on the couch asleep. He jumped up and he was like, "What's going on? What's going on?" And screaming and hollering. And so Shawn punched him and he fell down on the couch and he said, "What's all this about? What's all this about?" And then Alfonzo had hit him 2 or 3 times, I'm not sure. And he was still loud and everything, and so I had the shotgun in my hand, and I popped him in the head with the barrel. And he looked and seen the shotgun and calmed down. He said, just don't kill me. He said, you can do what you want to do, just don't kill me and don't kill my son. And I told him, I said, we're not going to kill you, we're not going to kill your son. I said, all we came here to do is get your TV and all that stuff because you owe me money. And then he went on to explain that why he didn't pay me and this and that and everything. And so we started taping. We taped his mouth up. His baby started crying. So I gave Alfonzo the shotgun. Told Alfonzo to hold the shotgun on him, and told Shawn to tape him up. I went in there and picked up his baby. I went and fixed him with a bottle of milk, and I was walking around the house with him, rocking him and feeding him his bottle. And after Bobby was taped up and everything, we started unhooking everything, all his appliances and everything, and we heard a knock at the door. So I told everybody to be quiet. I told Alfonzo to give me the shotgun. So I went to the door and I peeked out the curtain. The window in the door was broken. So when we kicked it in, the window broke. So there wasn't no glass there. So when I looked out, I seen there was a girl. I opened the door and I put her in. And she was hollering and screaming and hollering and screaming. His mom lives in the front of in the house in front of his. So I punched her in the face. I told her I was serious to be quiet. So she slid down the wall and I picked her up. And I took her in the room and I put tape over her mouth. And I gave Alfonzo the gun and I told him to watch her. I said if she started moving, to take her up. And so he said she moving. So he put the gun on the floor and started.
Try to cut down that noise. Okay, go ahead.
So he put the gun on the coffee table and started taping her up. And I asked her was she here by herself, and she shook her head no. I took the tape off her mouth. I asked her was she with. She said she was with her friend. So I told her, I said, if I let you go out there and get her friend, you promise not to run. She said, yeah. I said, if you run, I'm going to shoot your tires out, and when you try to get out the car, I'm going to shoot you in the back. She said, all right, I promise not to run. So she went outside, and I picked out the curtain, and she went out and told her friend to come in. She said that her and Bobby was going to have a drink, so she was going to be there for a minute. So when her friend came in, we put her in the house, took her back to the first girl back to the room and taped her back up, and then the other girl we brought in there, and we started taping her up and everything. We had just taped up her hands, and then we put tape on her mouth, and so we had to move her truck. So Shawn was supposed to be outside making sure no one came, so he came back in, and he said, we got to move the truck. So I asked her, I said, where's the keys to your truck? She wouldn't give, I ain't giving you the keys to my damn truck. I said, man, I said, look, I said, as long, I was talking to all three of them because all three of them was on the floor beside each other. And I told them, I said, look, I said, ain't nobody got to get hurt. I said, just give us what we want so we can go. I said, give me the keys to your truck. We're leaving your truck here. We're not taking the truck. I said, we just want to move it out the alley so it won't look like if somebody drive by, it won't look like it's just parked in the alley. She still wouldn't give us the keys. So I hit her in the head with the shotgun. And she fell down. And I said, give me the keys. So she gave me the keys. Shawn gave me the Shawn. And Shawn went to move the truck. He came back in probably 30 seconds, a minute later. He said, the truck won't, he said, I can't get the alarm to turn off. So I asked her, I said, how you turn the alarm off? And she wouldn't tell me how to turn the alarm. She said, I ain't telling you, I ain't telling you. So I told Alfonzo, I said, hit her in the head with the shotgun again. I said, she'll tell you how to unlock the key. She was like, no, I'll tell you. And she said, hit 2 buttons and it'll turn the alarm off. So he went back outside, he came back in. He said, the alarm is off, but I can't get the car started. So I said, how you start the car? You got a kill switch on it? Then again, she said, I'm not telling you nothing. And I said, man, tell us how to get your truck started. I said, I'm not going to stand here all night trying to coerce you and telling me how to get the truck started. And she said, well, she still was objecting. And then her friend said, just tell them what they want to know. Just tell them what they want to know, please, so we can leave. And so she told him to press the big button and so on. So he went back out and parked the truck beside Bobby's. And Alfonzo said, Alfonzo came and gave me the shotgun because I was talking to Bobby. I was talking to Bobby on the floor about why he wouldn't pay me and this and that, and look what you did. And now we got to take all your furniture and your property and all of this and this and that, and I hope this will make us square and everything. And as I was talking to Bobby, Alfonso came in. He said, I'm going to take her in the room. I said, who? He said, one of the girls. I was like, all right. So he took her in there and everything and came back in. They came back, and Shawn had came back in. He said, we got to go, we got to go. I said, well, what about them? I say, all three of them can't just lay here. I say, because if we put the baby down, I was still holding the whole time. After when Alfonso gave me the gun, I gave him the baby, and when I gave him the gun back, he gave me the baby. So the whole time we was trading the baby back and forth and feeding, trying to keep it quiet. And so as I was talking to Bobby on the floor with the baby and everything, all that went down. And so Shawn came in and said, we gotta go, we gotta go. So I said, well, we just can't leave him here because they all taped up and they can't hold the baby. I said, if we put the baby down, the baby gonna start crying. His mom gonna wake up. I said, we're not even gonna get out the county before they find out something is up. I said, we need to do something with them. I said, all right. I said, let's take them out in the country and leave them. And everybody said, no, we can't do that. We can't do that because we're still gonna get caught. So I said, well, the only thing we can do is take them to the country and kill them. They was like, all right. So I asked Bobby. I said, Bobby, where? I said, you got a shovel? He said, no. I said, Bobby, don't lie to me. Do you have a shovel? He said, no. And I said, all right, well. I said, fuck it, we don't need a shovel. I said, Bobby, I said, you gonna die anyway. He said, all right, I got a shovel. So I asked him where the shovel was at. He said it was in the garage on the east wall. So I gave Shawn the keys, and Shawn went, unlocked the garage, got the shovel, put it in the back of Bobby's truck. And so I told Shawn and Alfonzo to get the girls. They said, what we gonna do with them? I said, well, I can bring them with me, or y'all can take them with y'all. What y'all want to do? They said, we'll take them with us. So I said, all right, I'll take Bobby and his child. So the girls' arms and mouths was taped, but their legs wasn't taped, so they could walk. Bobby's legs, mouth, and arms was taped, so he couldn't walk. And so I untaped his legs, and we sat on the couch for probably 5 minutes, and I massaged his feet so we can get the feeling back in him so he can walk. And so we went to the truck, and we got in, and the baby started crying. So I told Bobby, I asked Bobby, I said, well, where's the milk and everything? He said, it's in the house. So I told Alfonzo to go in the house and make the baby a bottle and bring the milk and some water because we had to make some more on the way. So he went in the house and he got a bottle. He said getting milk and all that would take too long. So we just got the bottle and the diaper bag. So then we started driving. I don't know what, I think that's 136 or 156. Highway 156, we left going that way. And well, before we left Bobby's house, he was mumbling. I had put the tape back over his mouth. He was mumbling something. His face was turning red, so I thought he couldn't breathe. And I took the tape out. I said, "What's wrong?" He said, "I got asthma. I need my inhaler." So I said, "Where's your inhaler?" He said, "It's on the dashboard." So I gave him his inhaler and everything, and he said, take the tape off my arms so I can hold my baby. I said I couldn't do that. He said, please, I promise I'll cooperate to the fullest. So I took the tape off his arms, and we backed out. We left down 156. And then Bobby started telling me that I shouldn't kill him because he needed to raise his child and this and that and this and that. And as we was driving and everything, we kept talking and everything. And I said, okay, well, I decided he didn't need to die. So I don't know what, we turned down a dirt road first, and we went down the dirt road, but that wasn't long enough. So we turned around, we went back out to 156 and drove down that some more. We took, no, wasn't 156. It's 156 goes into Marlin. That's where we turned. We turned on 156. After on the stretch from Perry, we turned down 156 and going up toward Marlin. So we went through Marlin, passed. We turned left on Highway 60, went down to the first road, then we turned right, drove down that dirt road, went across 177, and the first dirt road we came to across 177, we turned left again, and we drove down that road for a little while, see how long it was, and so we stopped, and I told them we back up. So we backed up, and we turned the trucks off, and Shawn and Alfonzo came back to Bobby's truck, and they said, "Why is he untied?" I said, "I'm not going to kill Bobby." They said, "Why not?" I said, "Because I don't think he's going to tell." I said, "He all right." I said, "He cool, man." I said, "He just let everything ride." So they kept asking, "Well, he need to die, this and that, he going to tell?" I said, "Nah, he all right, he cool." And so I said, "What you think about the other two?" And so Alfonzo said, "I don't think the little girl should die either." He said, she told me she just had a baby and everything. And he said, "I think we should leave her alive too." I said, "What about her homegirl?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "Her homegirl seemed racist. I think she gonna tell." I asked Shawn, I said, "What you think?" He said, "I think she gonna tell too." I said, "Okay." So we took Summer out, the little girl, and Summer told her, I said, "What you think?" I said, "You gonna tell, man, if we let you go?" She was like, "No." I said, "Man, you in a desperate situation, you'll say anything." She said, "I promise to God on my baby's life I won't tell." And so we talked to her for probably 20, 30 minutes and everything, and we came to understand that maybe she wouldn't tell. And so we took her and put her in the truck with Bobby, and we asked them, we said, "What y'all think? Y'all think the other girl gonna tell?" Both of them shook their head. Y'all said, "You know, if y'all tell her that she gonna tell, then we're gonna have to kill her." They said, "I don't care, man. She's still gonna tell on y'all." I said, "All right." I said, "Well, you know what that means." I said, "This is your best friend, Summer." And Bobby, I said, "Supposedly this is your friend." I said, "You know, if you tell her she's gonna tell, then she gonna die." She was like, "Yeah." I was like, "All right." So we went back up to the truck, and I asked her, I said, "If we let you go, you promise not to tell on us?" She was like, "No." I said, "You gonna tell?" She said, "Yeah, I'm telling everything. Fuck y'all." I said, "All right." So we start walking up and down the field, looking for a place to bury her. So Shawn got the shovel. He said, "We can bury her right here." So he climbed over the fence. He started digging a hole and everything. After he was finished digging a hole, he came and got me and Alfonzo, and we went up to the gate and looked and seen the hole wasn't big enough. We said, "Man, that hole ain't big enough." So he started digging the hole some more, and I went back to the truck. I sat in the truck, smoked some cigarettes, talked to Bobby and Summer for a little while, and Bobby said his baby needed to be changed, and he said he couldn't change the baby in the truck. So I told him, I said, "Well, get out and put the blanket on the bed of the truck and change the baby." So he did that. He changed the baby. He asked, could him and Summer go for a walk? And I said, "Hell no, you can't go for a walk. You trying to take off running on me or what?" And they was like, no. And so everybody else was like, "Well, if you're not going to kill him, let him go for a walk." They, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right. So they probably walked down 50 feet, turned around, and, came back, did that a couple of times while Shawn was digging a hole. And the whole time I was talking to the other girl, and I couldn't convince her for nothing in the world not to tell. She just kept on saying she was going to tell this and that. So I said, all right. So Shawn said he was finished with the hole. So he came and got us, and me and Alfonzo went over there and looked, and seen the hole might be big enough. So Shawn went over there and got her. He made her get over the fence. He held the fence down. She got over the fence. And I went and got the gauge, loaded it up, and the first time I shot, I think I missed her. Because when I shot, the gun flipped out my hand, and I think the shot went higher than it was supposed to. And so I picked the gun up, and I racked the shell out, and I put the shell in my pocket, and then I leaned over the fence and I shot her, and she had stopped crying. So I said, "It's done." I said, "I think she dead." And so I took the gauge and I racked the other shell out and put it in my pocket, and I put the gauge in the truck. in Bobby's truck. So I said, well now, I said I had to shoot her. I said I ain't burying her. I said I ain't gonna take her out for everything. And so Shawn said, well dang, I dug the hole, I'll bury her. So he got over there and he couldn't put her in the hole. So he told Alfonzo, he said, help me pull her in the hole. So Alfonzo got over the fence and he helped him pull her in the hole. And they jumped back over the fence and they ran back up and said, she not dead, she's still breathing and kicking and moving. I said, man, I done shot her twice. I said, I'm not finna shoot her again. They said, she not dead. I said, well, go get the gun and shoot her. And they was like, nah. Shawn said, I'll just bury her. He said, I don't think she can move, but she'd have got up trying to run. So he started throwing dirt over her. And I could see her coughing. I could see the dirt coming in the air as she was coughing. So he kept on putting dirt over and everything. Until I couldn't hear her coughing and choking anymore. It was muffled. Then I heard him patting the dirt down. I couldn't see. It was real dark and the grass is real tall. So I couldn't see nothing. I could hear what was going on over there though. And so he covered her up with dirt. And we went over there and looked, and we could still see her feet. Nah, that's not gonna do, man. They said she not buried. She half in, half out. So he reburied her. After all that, I got the money. I said, why not? He said, I gave it to Ramon. I said, why you give my money to Ramon? He said, man, Ramon came and said you was in jail. I said, you didn't see through that? He said, I kind of thought he was lying. He said, but I just went on. I said, so you knew you was beating me? He said, well, I didn't look at it like that. I said, well, now, okay, you beat me point blank. I'm going to want my money. So, you know, he laughed about it. Ha, 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 ha. He said, you got to go talk to Ramon. You got beat by him. I said, all right, I'll be back. And that's what he owed me money for.
So owed you 20. So you knocked on it one time?
Mm-hmm.
And then you kicked it in?
Right.
Now, where was Bobby whenever you kicked the door in?
Laying on the couch.
Okay. And you said he jumped up and started yelling, what's going on?
Right.
Did you hit him then?
Right.
Okay.
I hit him in the top of the head with the shotgun.
Where was the baby at?
In the crib.
Okay, in that little bedroom?
Yeah.
Off the living room?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How long were you guys in the house with the girls and Bobby before you decided to leave?
I would say we was in the house before the girls got there probably 15 minutes. And after they got there, we was all in the house probably an hour, maybe not even, probably 45 minutes to an hour.
Was the little girl, was she bleeding at all?
She just had a bruise on her face.
What about Bobby? Was he bleeding?
Yeah, he was bleeding profusely.
Okay. Where was he at?
Laying on the couch. Well, first he was laying on the couch on his stomach, and then after all three of them was taped up, we put him in the baby's room on the floor.
Okay. Who taped Bobby up?
All three of us.
Okay. Who taped Summer up?
I'm not sure. Shawn or Alfonzo taped him up.
Okay, you were fixing to say on Bobby. You did what?
I taped up his mouth and his ankles, and Alfonso taped up his arms.
With arms in front or behind him?
Behind him.
Okay. Who taped up the other girl?
I want to say Shawn taped up the big girl, but I'm not sure. I wasn't really paying attention. I just know that they were supposed to be getting taped up, and that's what was happening, so I wasn't really paying attention to it.
Did you tape her hands and her feet and her mouth, or
no.
Where was she taped?
Both of them was taped, the hands in front of them, and the big girl had tape over her mouth because she kept yelling, and the other girl, Summer, I think her name is Summer. Summer, she was just sitting there. She didn't have tape over her mouth.
But she had her hands taped.
Right. When we was going outside, they put tape over her mouth, all around her hair, and top of her head, and all of that.
Who did that?
Alfonzo did.
Why did they do that?
Probably just so she wouldn't yell when she got outside.
Okay, so they just wrapped her head all up with duct tape?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see?
No, they just wrapped it around like this and then like this, so she could see and breathe and everything.
Okay. Why did you leave the house?
Why did we leave the house? Because we was gonna take them out in the country and kill them.
All three of them?
Mm-hmm.
Or should I say all four of them?
Four.
The baby.
Oh no! Out the gate, we already said we wasn't gonna kill the baby. Cause we said this is what we're gonna do. We come back with them, Because Bobby said, well, what you going to do with my baby? He said, if you're going to kill me, let my baby live. So we told him, we said, we'll go up, we'll put the baby on your mom's front porch, I'm not going to do a run. So he already knew out the gate that his baby wasn't going to die.
Okay. But you told him and the other two girls that they were going to die.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot a part. No, I didn't. I told you that I asked him for the show and everything.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. And you said Shawn got the show, or you got the show?
Shawn got the show.
Okay. Put it in the back of one of the pickups?
Right. Right.
So you guys stop at that location and you get out of the trucks. What happens after that? I mean, specifically.
We got out of the truck. I talked. Okay, we stopped. And Shawn and Alfonzo came back to the truck, and he was going to say something to me, but he didn't finish. He said, why is he untied? I said, I ain't going to kill him. He said, why not? I said, I don't think he's going to tell. I think he's going to, hold his word. He going to be quiet. He was like, all right. He said, I don't think the other girl's going to tell neither. I said, which one? He said, the little one. He said, I don't think she'll tell. He said she just had a baby. I said, okay. So
did you decide at that point that you weren't going to kill the other girl?
Right. I didn't decide yet. I was still like, I don't know. I had to go talk to her first. So I went up. I told her to get out the truck. And we talked for a little while. And she kept telling me, I just had a baby. I'm in the same boat Bobby is, this and this and this and that. And if you ask Bobby, he'll tell you the same thing. So I took her back. Well, before I even talked to her, Bobby said that she was in, he said, I don't think you should kill her either because she just had a baby too. And I was like, okay. So I was kind of on indecision. And then when Alfonzo told me he didn't think she should die, then I was kind of like, all right, well, let me go talk to her and see what she say. So I talked to her for a little while, and she was like, no, I'm not going to tell her, I promise, I got a baby to raise. I'm in the same boat Bobby is. And so I took her back to the truck. We all five of us stood there. We was talking. I heard her crying, so I didn't know if her mouth was taped. So I figured that they had took the tape off her head or never put it on there.
So you guys, there's five of you standing around talking.
Well, four of us, me and Alfonzo. Yeah, it was five.
Okay.
Bobby and the girl and me, LaRon and...
Okay, at what point did Shawn start digging the holes?
After we talked to the big girl.
Okay, when you went over to talk to the big girl, what'd you say?
I said, what's up, man? I said, you gonna tell if we let you go? First I came, I said, I'm letting Bobby and your friend go. She shook her head. I said, you gonna tell if we let you go? She shook her head again. I said, what? She said, yeah, I'm gonna tell. Her face wasn't taped, cause she was talking to me. So I asked her, she said, no, I'm not gonna tell. This and that, this and that, this and that. She said, I'm gonna tell this and that, this and this and that. So I was like, damn. So I went and told her, I said, man, she said she gonna tell you. So I know that she told me the same thing. So I went back. That's the only questions I asked her. I asked her what she gonna tell. She just kept saying yeah. So I went back up there. So I told Shawn, I said, man, homegirl gonna tell, dude. I said, we gonna have to kill her. They was like, all right. So they said, well, who gonna kill her? I said, I'll kill her. They was like, all right. So Shawn said he'd dig the hole. So after I shot her and everything.
Let's talk about that. You said that, did you go get her out of the truck or did you send somebody else to get her out of the truck?
No, I didn't send nobody. Shawn got her out of the truck on his own.
Okay. But he knew what you were going to do, right?
Right.
You had the gauge with you or did you have to go get it?
Nah, there's no times I take the gauge out the truck when he was out there at the thing. The gauge stayed in the truck.
Okay. So at some point you went and got the gauge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, was that before Shawn went and got her, or was it about the same time?
That was after he went and got her. She stood on the other side of the gate for about 20 minutes.
You're saying gate? You're talking about
not the
gate or
barbed
the
wire fence.
Okay.
She stood on the other side of the fence for about 20 minutes.
Doing what?
Just standing there.
Was her mouth taped?
I'm not sure.
Was she saying anything?
No, she was just standing there. I had talked to her, and she talked back, so I didn't figure her mouth was taped. I didn't know if they taped it back up. I figured they had taped it up because she was quiet. She wasn't pleading or nothing or anything. She was just quiet.
So when did you go get the gun? Was she across the fence already?
Yeah, she was across the fence for about 20 minutes. Bobby then.
At some point in time, you went and got the gauge. Did Shawn tell you he was done? Or?
Right. He said, I'm finished with the hole. Me and Alfonzo and him went and looked. I said, man, what you finna bury in there, dog? I said, that's not big enough. He was like, damn, cuz. So he went back, dug some more. We went and looked again, he said, it still ain't big enough. So he dug some more, he said, that's big enough.
Where was she at when all this was going on?
Standing right there.
Okay. Then what happened?
So I said, all right, we went back up. I went and got the gun, and I went down, and I shot, and the gun flipped out my hand.
Okay, let me stop you right there. When you said you shot, where was she at when you shot?
Oh, she was on the other side of the, okay, after he finished digging the hole and everything, we looked at it and everything, and he said that we told him that was good enough. He had helped her get on the other side of the fence.
How come he had to help her get across the fence?
Because her arm was tied. She couldn't put her arms down to push the gate down to get over the fence.
Okay.
So he helped her get over the fence.
All right. So Shawn helped her over the fence. Then what did she do?
She was just standing there.
Okay. Was she looking at you?
I don't know where she was looking. She was just facing the trucks.
Okay. And where were you at?
I was standing at the edge of the road.
Okay. And then what happened?
And then I walked down maybe 2 feet, probably this far from the edge of the road, and I pointed the shotgun at her and I shot, and the gun flipped backwards out my hand. And I said, dang. And I could hear her crying, but it wasn't a cry of agony, it was more like begging. So I went and got the gun and I shot it, and I ran up to the gate. She was laying down on the ground. And I leaned over the gate and I shot her.
Was she laying on her back? Was she laying face down?
I didn't even look at her. I just pointed the gun at her direction and pulled the trigger. I didn't want to see nothing. I just put the gun over the fence.
Did she make any sounds the second time?
When I shot her,
You shot the second time?
well, she was still crying. Oh, I could hear her breathing, you know what I'm saying, and crying and everything. But it wasn't loud like it was the first time. It was kind of, you know, like just regular talking, just like, oh God, please, please. And tell, man, I said, whatever you do, I said, do not tell. I said, you'll end up just like this if you tell. He said, oh man, he said, man, you ought to know by now, you ain't got to trip, I'm not gonna tell.
End up just like what?
Like the other girl.
In other words, he'd end up dead.
Right.
If he told.
Right.
Clayton, when you got to the house and you guys did what you did, why did you feel it necessary that they all had to die?
So they wouldn't tell.
So they wouldn't tell that what, that you broke into their house? So they wouldn't tell that you broke into their house?
Right. And so Bobby told the police that I broke in his house, then of course then they would know I was back in Oklahoma, and then.
And why didn't you want the police to know you're back in Oklahoma?
Because I violated probation.
In Louisiana?
No, in K County.
In K County? So you were going to kill all three just so nobody would find out that you were back. So they wouldn't tell on you for what you did.
Right.